when people say comparison is the thief of joy, I think it's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's two sides to this statement. On one side, I kind of agree. You know, I feel like comparing yourself to people who are above you, who are more relevant, more important, more significant, people who already have your dream life, people who already have something going for them, especially if they're in your age group, that can be, you know, overwhelming. You look at these motherfuckers and you're like, how the fuck do these 20-year-olds drive a Lamborghini when I'm sitting in my fucking room trying to make it as an entrepreneur? So that can be really like overwhelming. You know, I feel like that sometimes. I feel like I look at these motherfuckers on social media, especially people who are a similar age to me, and I see these guys have like millions and millions of views, all of this clout, all of this fame, and I can't lie, you know, I get that jealousy. You know, I'm like everyone else, you know, I'm envious of these motherfuckers, I'm jealous, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like if we maintain this frequency, if we, you know, don't transmute these negative feelings into positive ones, that's when it becomes harmful, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when it actually hurts your progress, because you'll just send yourself into this very deep and dark spiral of negative thoughts, negative emotions. It will be really hard to climb out of that shit. And then I think there's this other aspect to, you know, comparison is the thief of joy, they say. On the other hand, I feel like a hint of jealousy, you know, that slight feeling in the back of your mind when you see a motherfucker drive past you 200 miles per hour in a Lamborghini and you're like, fuck that guy, but how can I be like them? You know what I'm saying? In the back of your mind, you know, I feel like only 10% of people see it this way, because the majority of the population, they get envious, they get jealous, and then they just go back to their normal life. And there's that 10% who will take inspiration from that, who will see that and they'll be like, holy shit, I need to get my shit together. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting in my room while these guys are living their dream life. And that's exactly me, bro. You know, I feel like I play into both sides. Sometimes I try to justify my own lacking of my dream life by shitting on other people. And we will make these excuses. Like, in our minds, we all tell ourselves that, oh yeah, well, this motherfucker must have come from a good background. This motherfucker is just talented. You know, his genetics are good. We try to make up these fucking excuses to justify the fact that we don't have the life that we want and they fucking do. So sometimes I get like that. I would be inauthentic if I was to say I never feel that, because I do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I genuinely want to punch these people in the motherfucking face. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, I take inspiration from that shit. Most of the time, even though I have these negative feelings in the back of my mind, I transmute them into the positive ones, because those are the ones which will help me progress, which will actually do something for my fucking journey. You know, it would be fucking ludicrous to sit here and cry about shit that I cannot control. The only thing that I can control is looking at my role models, looking at the people who I want to be like, and instead of seeing that as a bad thing, instead of getting overwhelmed by that shit and putting my head in the pillow crying, instead I can take inspiration from that. I can look at what they're doing and I'll do that 10 times better, or I'll do it 10 times more often than them. You know, that's instantly where my mind goes to. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't do it, I have the right instinct. My instinct is to be better than even the best of the best. Me and my friend, we talk about this a lot. We don't want to be better than the average, because the average is, you know, if you're living healthy, if you're not scrolling on Instagram, if your days are actually productive and you're doing something to progress towards the greatest, most high vibrational version of yourself, you're already better than 99% of people. But that's the thing, I don't want to be better than 99% of people, bro. 99% of people are fucking average. I want to be better than the 1%. This shit is everything to me, you know. This is the most important priority in my life. I want to be better than motherfuckers. And most people, I feel like they're afraid to admit that shit. Deep down in our minds, especially as men, you know, we're competitive beings. So it's better if you just admit that we want to be better than people. You know, we are driven by this dark notion, this dark desire within us to be better than other people, to dominate other people, to show that you are capable of doing something that most people are not capable of doing. Because, you know, there's value in doing shit like that. You know, if everyone had a Lamborghini, then it wouldn't be valuable because everyone could attain it. It was easy. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that's valuable, you know, valuable is scarcity. Value is linked to scarcity. If you people are great, if only 1% of the population are truly living their best life, then, you know, that's actually valuable. So I want to go for what is valuable. I don't just want to go for better than what most people are currently living. You know, the reality that most people experience is hating their life, hating their job, you know, coming home from work depressed, sad, not having any energy to do anything, not having any energy to focus on themselves. They eat like shit, they treat themselves like shit, they never have any fun. You know, even now, even though I'm not like, you know, working or anything, I don't feel like I don't feel like I fit into this category of people because I've never hated my life. I love life, you know what I'm saying? That's why I want to live to my fullest potential. That's why I want to exercise all of my potential. You know, if I leave any potential on the table, that will be my greatest fucking failure. Like, that would be my biggest regret in life. This is why I simply refuse to not do anything. Even when I'm in bed, and sometimes I have moments of weakness where I just scroll on TikTok or whatever. In my mind, I'm really contemplating like, bro, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've discussed this shit with myself a million times in my head over and over again. You know, when you speak to yourself about what pussy you are, like, self-talk is so important, bro. I do this shit so much where I just tell myself, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I promised myself yesterday I'm gonna do this shit. So why am I not doing it? Why am I instead being lazy, being complacent? I don't have anything that I want right now. None of my goals are achieved. So why the fuck am I sitting here as if I've done my job? You know what I'm saying? There's more work to be done. I literally say all of this shit in my head. You know, I keep on reiterating it. I keep on repeating it within myself, because even though you're lazy, even though you're going through these rut periods or whatever, if your mentality is still solely focused on what you want to achieve, then eventually you'll be able to climb out of the rut. The problem arises when you get complacent, when you get content with living an average life, you know, because there's no coming back from that. Most people are happy and content. I wouldn't say happy, but they're content with where they are. You know what I'm saying? That's why they never want to change. If you want to change, that means you are unhappy with your current circumstances. Anyway, we got a little bit sidetracked there. The whole point of this video was, you know, comparison, it can be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. The same thing, like internet can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. It all depends on how you use it. If you use jealousy as a driving force to achieve what you want, and every single day when you wake up and you see these motherfuckers on social media driving your dream car, living your dream life, having your dream goal, if you see these guys and you can take inspiration from them, and these motherfuckers can compel you to be the best version of yourself, and they reignite a fire within you, then that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is healthy competition. And that's the 10%. You know, like, that's the rarer aspect to things. Most people don't think like that. Most people, when they see a motherfucker driving a Lambo, instantly their mind goes to, oh, well, he must be renting it. You know, he must have come from a rich family. He must have already had a good background. Who the fuck cares what he had? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he is living a life that you're not. He is content with where he is because he's worked so fucking hard to get that shit. And the only reason why you justify your laziness by shitting on other people is because you know that you are not working hard enough for your goals. You're not a person who works hard and you get lazy, you get complacent. So if you're like that, bro, you really need to think about what the fuck you're doing. Once again, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that I never get these moments. Sometimes I look at these motherfuckers and I go, bro, fuck these guys. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, just fuck them. But that's only 10% of the time. 90% of the time, my mind is, okay, what can I do to be better than these motherfuckers?